What is up, you guys? This is the second video I'm making today. So I said yesterday I'd tell about my ring and why it wasn't on my finger. So please don't forget to rate, comment, click that subscribe button because I do make new videos every single day. And please don't forget to hit that notification bell, push the subscribe button, and remember, sharing is caring. So let's get to the story time. So this was my great aunt's ring, and it was given to me quite a while back. And she was a very patient woman, a very kind woman, and when I was born she made me like this quilt, and she actually died. I don't remember when, but it was from bone cancer. Obviously, it's one of the many downfalls of smoking. And if you're a smoker and it's an addiction, so you feel like, oh, they're just talking out their ass, blowing smoke and stuff like that. And so this is for anybody with an addiction. If you don't think you need help and it's time to snap into reality and get it, of course, I'm one to talk, I guess, because I've got one too. So back to her. So I don't wear this on my finger because when you wear a ring for a very long time and it gets to this indention in your finger, this indention into your skin, that is pretty hard to get it to go away. So I just put it on a chain around my neck. That way I don't lose it. Anyways, I never got a chance to actually go and see her and say goodbye and all that stuff. And this ring is really important to me because I've had it for such a long time. And so I don't really know, so I'm going to say as much stuff as I can remember. So here we go. There was one time, but this was a really long time ago, and I'm not that kind of person that remembers everything or can recall everything. So I'm going to do my best. So here we go. It was a very long time ago. I think I was still a good kid, and we visited them because I wanted to see some play that was there at the Fox Theater. Probably should have gotten a new shirt, but we're not talking about that kind of stuff. So we went back to their house after probably being at the show and then spending some time there, and they made dinner or supper or whatever you call it. Was, I think, chicken dumplings, and homemade chicken dumplings is pretty good. Actually, homemade anything is better than buying it or whatever, because homemade, you have to take the time and put in the energy and the work into actually, making it. She was a she worked for the post office. So I'm going to try and recall things that I know about her or remember. So here we go. She worked for the post office. She smoked a lot, but she was a very amazing person, and I'm sure she's deeply missed by her husband and her kids and her grandkids. So, and like I've already said, she made me this quilt when I was born. Like I've said before, I've had this ring forever. I don't remember when it was given to me or who gave it to me. All I know is that it came from her. So, I don't know if you can see it. I'll do the YouTuber thing where I put my hand right there. So I put it around my neck, and this chain is really kind of hard to put back on, especially with these nails. Like if they were just my regular nails, I wouldn't care, but they're these nails, so I kind of do. Anyways, let's see if I can show you guys. I think it's probably like an engagement ring or something. So, yeah. And, oh, and if you guys want to know any other stories about any other family members, then please let me know in the comments down below. Again, don't forget to rate, comment, click that subscribe button, because I do make videos every single day. Don't forget to hit that notification bell, and remember, sharing is caring. So, and it really helps me out a lot. So, this is actually the second video I'm making today. Yeah, so, like I said, I don't really remember all who gave it to me, or really remember all that much, so I know I probably should, but the people who have passed aren't talked enough, and if somebody dies from anything, then it's a good idea to still, talk about them, because if you don't talk about them, then the next generations won't know anything about them. So, I find it really important to just talk about people who have died, because it's not talked enough. They say you die once when you actually die, and you die the second time when no one remembers your name or remembers you, and that's kind of sad, actually, because I would like to know more about my family and stuff, but the person who actually knows a lot about them will not talk about it without breaking down. So it's good to grieve for however long you need to, and then kind of just slowly and gradually starting to live again. Because if you live with grief and you live with regret, you say, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, I could have done this, it doesn't matter anymore. Once somebody's gone, shoulda, woulda, coulda doesn't matter. It's null void. It doesn't count. So, this ring, I don't have it on my finger. I think I've already explained that because it'll leave an indentation in your skin. And that's pretty hard to make it go away. So, please comment down below what else you want me to talk about, and I will try to remember everything I can about them. And in the meantime, please comment down below if you like these kind of videos or the one I just made. I plan on uploading both of these at the same time, so you guys can either watch this or watch the one I just made. So if there's any nonverbal analysis people out there, please let me know why I do this. Every time I make a video, I hard swallow and I have no idea why. So please let me know in the comments down below why I do that. So, please tell me why I do certain things or say certain things a certain way. So it would be very interesting to me to find out why. So, sorry I can't talk a lot about this ring because I don't really remember anything. She's not talked about enough. And I think that's really sad to not talk about these things, certain things. And we should be able to talk about certain things about people who have died by this point, and just so they're never forgotten that way. So they're never forgotten. They're never having that second death. And so it's always a good idea to keep talking about them, keep telling stories, no matter how hard it'll be. Because if you don't tell those stories, who's going to? Because there's going to be this next person that doesn't remember or doesn't know. So it's really a better idea to, talk about this stuff. Talk about this stuff and say, oh, well, just talk about it. And just say what these people meant and all the awesome things they did and stuff like that. So just please try and remember that if you talk about somebody long after they've gone or whatever, then that gives everybody a chance to know and to learn and to remember. Because I feel like not remembering anything about anyone that was here, that lived, it's very sad. Because if you don't, like I was saying, if you don't talk about people, if you don't remember them, who's going to? So really, please just try and remember. Please try and talk about it. I can't talk about this because I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough about her. So I kind of really don't know much about her or the ring or the origins of it. So please just bear with me because I'm doing my best to, talk about this and stuff. So I don't really know anything like that. So sorry if this video's getting kind of short. I'll try to talk as long as I possibly can. So I'll just try and talk as much as I can about whatever. So please let me know in the comments down below what you would like me to talk about next, what you think about the video I just made, and think about this one. I am going to, like I was saying, it's a really good idea to talk about someone, to tell stories about them, so they're not going to be forgotten. And so I just think it's a good idea to tell their stories, try and keep them alive and for as long as you possibly can remember, because there are people that their memory starts to fade quickly, and before that happens, please just tell as many stories as you can, write it down so they're not forgotten. And yeah, I just don't really know what to say besides that. And if you're a returning subscriber, welcome back to my channel. If you're a new subscriber, welcome, welcome, welcome. And I hope you guys are having a good day, and you are mentally and physically and emotionally doing good. And I just really hope everyone's drinking enough water, getting enough rest, getting enough sun, just doing things that will really help you. And so, like I was saying, and I've said this a bunch, but it really matters to talk about someone, talk about their story, tell their story, to tell all the good times, bad times, the stuff in between. And if you find that you're starting to forget, just write it all down. And that way, when you can't remember anymore, then someone else in your family can have something to hold on to of that person. So, really, I really wish I could tell you more stuff, but like I was saying earlier, it's not talked about enough. It's not talked about. It's not talked about. There's nothing. So, my grandmother, the one downstairs, that you'll probably hear my first video. She's known all these people for her entire life, and yet she refuses to talk about it. If you don't grieve in the moment, then you're never going to be able to talk about it in the future or be able to write it down, because it's so important, you guys, to write stuff down, to be able to take yourself through the grieving process and be able to write it down, because everyone should be able to remember. And I feel like this is very important, and I just feel like this is very important, and there's stuff like that. So it's very, very important to write stuff down and properly go through the grieving process. That way you are able to talk about it later on and go through it and talk about it later on and write it down. And that way they're never forgotten. There will always be like stories about them and stuff like that. And it's not great to never just talk about something because you didn't grieve properly and you're still holding on to that. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Should have done this, I should have done that, I should have said this, I should have said that, I shouldn't have done that, I shouldn't have done this, I could have done this, could have done that, and no, it's just shoulda, woulda, coulda. Doesn't matter anymore. Life's too short for regretting anything, for regrets. So it's very hard to not regret anything because we're taught that we have to regret doing this or that. I feel like it's just mixed messages about certain stuff, so I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to make this video and how much longer I'm going to be able to talk about all this stuff, because as you can tell, it's a lot, and grieving should be done properly, and we should help people properly be able to grieve, so they're not still grieving when they're 70 or so. They're not grieving forever. And I find mental health very important, and if you don't know how to properly grieve, you can't properly have a good, stable mental health. And it's a very good thing to have, and it's a good thing to find like your person that you can talk to and share stuff with, and you know that they're good, really good at keeping secrets and they're not going to tell anybody. And it's also very important to tell your doctor if you're feeling some kind of way about if you've got some form of mental health or whatever, because it's very important to catch it before it gets to the point of, I can't do this anymore. So it's best to just do that, and I'm going to end this video here because I've been sitting here too long. I've been talking forever, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow.